Source: on November 7 and Amp. 8, 1965. I resided in New York and can share with you what I know about these dates. Brian, what can you help us with regarding these dates? Source: as everyone is probably aware, November 8, 1965 is when her hairstylist Mark Sinclair found Dorothy Kilgallen dead on the third floor of her townhouse. The public has always wondered how the two men gained entry into her home. Next to the main door, there is a service door used by staff and delivery personnel. If you study the service door carefully, you'll notice there is a smaller door, similar to a doggy door, that was used by the Western Union Courier to retrieve Kilgallen's column when needed. This second door has since been welded shut. You can verify this by using Google Street View. It is through this door that the two men gained entry to the townhouse. These men made their way to the third floor where the bar was located. There was a second glass involved in this saga. They either swabbed the second glass with barbiturates or added it to a bottle of Scotch whiskey. But in any case, the second glass was tainted. The public never knew there was a second glass involved. However, on December 5, 1965, I learned the second glass was a shot glass. Occasionally, during this time frame, I would meet up with friends and police officers at a bar called O. Henry's. We would have drinks and talk about different crimes and so forth. One night, I brought up the death of Kilgallen, not knowing if one of the young officers that I knew would really have any insight to her death. But to my surprise he did and was willing to talk openly about what he knew. Oddly enough, he admitted there was two glasses involved and that deadly barbiturates were originated from a shot glass. He went on to say that under this unusual investigation the shot glass along with a guest glass had mysteriously disappeared. The only glass that was found was her vodka and tonic glass near her nightstand. He said someone must have intentionally removed the glasses. I never thought anyone would write a book about Kilgallen. However, Lee Israel wrote a book called Kilgallen. In 1980 I purchased this book and read it several times. This book confirmed what the officer told me years before. In the book it states, the glass that was hers, the alcohol evaporated. In addition, the book mentions that a medical examiner retrieved two glasses, the shot glass and someone else's glass. The vodka and tonic glass was left on Kilgallen's nightstand. In fact, Cary Kohlmeyer, Kilgallen's son, admits in the book there was a room with a bar where he once lit a cigarette and poured himself a shot of whiskey in an attempt to act like an adult. I also viewed a video in 2019 where Cyril Wecht spoke with one of the medical examiners and he made mention of a shot or shots involved. In fact, while viewing Kilgallen's photo gallery, there are several pictures that proves this. It shows her and her husband with Jean and Bob Bach with a vodka and tonic and a shot glass by her elbow, with a platter of more shots to come. Brian, I looked at these pictures and you're correct. Source: then I looked at the photo with her and Johnny Ray and again there is Kilgallen with a vodka and tonic. I pulled the page from the book and noticed there was also a glass shot. Brian, you're correct again. Source: I read Ron Pataky's poem, Vodka Roulette Possible Relief, where there was a cartoon picture of a gremlin as a bartender and I noticed there were two glasses from Kilgallen and one for him. Brian, again, you're correct. Pataky was in the townhouse. Source: so, what I'm saying, is 3 glasses were involved in this. He was in the townhouse. I'm going to have to stop for now, but before I do, I have one more thing to share. I reviewed the Kilgallen story and listened to what Pataky said where he stated, if I was to think about it at all, she must have took a little too much pill, with a little too much whiskey. So the officer was telling me the truth years ago and Israel found out that the statements matched. I'll talk to you in the morning to discuss more. The next segment, scheduled for November 2025, will be a continuation on this conversation.